Hello and welcome back. Okay, today we are going to add first a cork board look behind our floating free card. Start getting closer to a look and feel and something we can use on our actual product. And hopefully in the next today, maybe tomorrow, it might be maybe the third to basically get us to a point where we actually have a really nice working product, which is basically, that's like our minimum. In fact, if you remember, that was where we left our design requirements for our basic interface. We talked about having the ability to have a card that basically, or well, have an interface where you can add cards and work with them and basically delete them and save them. And that's where we're going to get to. And actually, it's already be a pretty cool product just then and there. Okay. Of course, we have a lot more to go for the CLOG Plunger to get rid of cloder's block. Okay, now, first of all, I started this time the CLOG Builder using slime. And the reason is, if the way I have it set up, if you start it from slime, then you get an additional tool called the image to HTML data. That's a little tool that I built in. And the reason is because it works as a more of a web interface, where you choose a file, and you'll see in a second. And I did that because I wanted to, again, for practically speaking, I mean, everything's the same. The only thing is this actual extra tool shows up. And that is, I want to go ahead and I want to grab this cork, okay, picture, and I want to basically convert image to data. And I just grabbed this image that you see here. I wanted a, just sort of free bunch of little backgrounds. And that looks good enough. And we'll go ahead and we'll select out this piece, which is actually the image data, right? To base 64. And the reason is this way we don't have to worry about loading the file from the web directory. We can just drop it in. Well, we'll see where we're going with that. So. Okay, so we've done that. So I have the image data here. Okay, that's going to be a data URL. And now what we need to do is I need to make a new file to put it in. So let's call this images, right? And that'll be one of the resources that we'll use. Okay, yeah, I was going to say resource, but images is fine. Okay. Boom, so we got our images list file, and remember again, that adds it to our ASD file. Okay, so first thing we got to do, of course, is in package, and I have to do the CLOG Plunger. There we go. Okay, next thing, let's do def parameter. Okay, and we're going to call this, we'll call it cork image. Okay, and now we've got to give it the data. So let's do it like this. There we go. Okay, and end quote. Okay, perfect. Okay, let's just take a look at this. Okay, looks perfect. Save it. Okay, let's close that. All right, everything good. Okay, now let's get to work on adding our image file, right? The data URL image into our on file free. So, well, first of all, go ahead and run this. Let's actually get our version running. Actually, we can close this. We don't need it anymore. All right, and this is what we want to do. We've got to put a cork board behind this image. All right, so to get the image, let's go here, declare, blah, blah. Okay, fine. So what are we going to do? So first thing we got to do is we got to set the background, right? Set, okay, backgrounds, image. Okay, and we're going to set it for the window content, okay, and for that we will use our cork image. Okay, cork image. Done. Okay. All right. Perfect. Okay, and then what we need to do is background. We want our background to repeat, right? So let's do background repeat. Okay, same thing, window content. Okay, and we're gonna do repeat. Repeat. Okay, done. And you'll notice that the actual you know, in my autocomplete, actually even some of the parameters come up. For example, things like background repeat, etc. When I put together CLOG, I'll show you. It's actually worth just taking a quick look, right? Let's say background repeat, right? So that, by the way, just remember the system browser comes up by basically going ahead and putting alternate period, and that on in this case background repeat. Actually, we can pick any of them. They're all going to bring us to this particular definition of background repeat. And I also created a background repeat type. So very often I created types that, for example, border box, padding box, background origin type. And what that does, you know, ideally, I guess at some point I'd like to find a way to be able to use the def types to be more specific, to connect them. For example, background repeat, to connect it to background repeat, this type to their background repeat. So this way you could actually see or be more specific what examples will show up on the autocomplete. But for right now, at least they're already in the system. So when you do background repeat, then all these options will at least be sitting there in the, you know, the autocompletes and so forth. But well, along with everything else in the world, but it's in the autocomplete that's in our list image. So that's just a little nice kind of thing I'll tell you about. Okay, going back here to our background repeat, that's done. Okay, and one else thing we're going to need to do is, okay, let's start with that. Okay. Okay. Good, perfect. Okay. Okay, let's save it. Let's evaluate the form. All right, and let's go back here and let's do our new free win. So what we see here is nothing. We actually didn't accomplish anything. Now I'll tell you why. Okay, and this is worthwhile. Take a look at this. You notice that there is I probably could modify how we produce the actual data image, but the fact is that there is a carriage return between every line. Actually, in CSS files, that matters. If I were to use this image, for example, like in an image tag, then it would work fine. If I use it in any fashion where most within HTML, this image, this data URI, the way it is, would actually work. But because it's in a CSS file, then the carriage return actually creates an issue within CSS. So because of that, we're going to just do something very simple. We're going to go ahead and ask our little system here. We're going to use ppcre, right? And we're going to do a little search and replace going on here, a little regex. Okay, so regex replace all. All right, and what we can do is XUA. Okay, we'll do that. Okay, so what we're going to do basically is we're going to find, we'll do a regex, right, basically for a carriage return, and then we'll go ahead here and we'll replace it with nothing. Perfect. Okay, and that should do it for us. Yeah, let's go ahead and save that. Okay, eval form. I probably don't need to save every time when I'm doing that until I get what I want, but it's just a forceful habit, and I don't know, I like it. But from my past. Okay, there you go. Boom. Okay, great, fantastic. So let's take a look at what do we do? Sorry, what's going on here? Okay, good. Okay, so now we've got our cork image that's working, and we've got our card, except one problem, and that is, since it is CSS based in this case, the background image, that means that things cascade. I mean, they go from one thing to the next. So this particular window, this image then ends up cascading to our box, to our card. So now we got to do basically is just, of course, pretty simple. We can just give our card a color. Right. So set F. Background color, card, and okay. All right. Let's go back here, and there we go. Aha! There we go. Looks not bad, huh? Look at that. Take a look. Okay. So that looks pretty good. Except for one thing. Take a look and see. One thing we haven't done yet, which I was going to do before, that's why I knew about this in advance, is that we've put a background, but the background does not scroll with our cards. So that looks a little tacky once we got that. So in the future, when we're putting a bunch of cards on here, we're going to run into a situation with the way it looks. So one more fix. Okay, let's go back here. Okay, background white. Okay, so let's go to, here we go. And that's what is called background attachment. Okay, so background attachment. Okay, again, window content, okay. All right, and we want to do, okay, local. Okay, now, okay, perfect, good. Evaluate the form, and here, file new, free win. Now you notice, by the way, all the old windows that use our old code actually all still work, right? Because they each time we modify our handler for new free win, right? The old example still exists in memory until, of course, we've closed windows and not using them anymore. So we can actually get rid of these. No reason to keep them open now. Okay. So now take a look and see what happens. So now when we go down, right? Nice, right? This is exactly what we wanted. So now we have a very cool background image for our cards.